because you don't want to be drinking this out of the bottle and you got little pieces of gold foil on your mouth. And welcome back to the beer garden in the presence of the Grand Fig. It's about 97 degrees here with about 90% humidity. Sweat is cascading down my back as I'm freshly back from Gulf Shores, Alabama. We spent a little time down there. Also visited Orange Beach, Alabama, and went to the Flora-Bama legendary bar down there in the Gulf Shores, right on the Gulf of Mexico. And did I just say Mexico? Well, that's somewhat inspired along with your overwhelming request for this brew review. And speaking of requests, if you're here because you like beer, and let's be honest, why else would you be? Please tap that subscribe button down below, because I have low self-esteem and a lot of subscribers and followers make me feel better about myself. All right. Let's get to this beer before more mosquitoes get to my legs. That's why I keep doing this number right here. Up this round is Modelo Negra, which is, if you don't speak Spanish, and yo hablo un poquito español, pero mi español es muy malo, but I know that Modelo means metal, and Negra talks about the darkness of the beer, which is a, surprisingly, doing a little bit of research for this, is a Munich-style dark lager. Now, I love me some Mexican food. I can eat Mexican food like a Mexican. But every time I go and I ask for a Modelo, they go, Negra? And I say, no, especial, por favor. Because I think of a dark beer as being rather heavy, and, you know, Mexican food, I want something kind of light and crisp and refreshing. But they always ask about the Negra. I sort of dressed for the part in this. You may be saying, why? What are you talking about? The last time I was in Mexico, I wore this shirt. And we were doing some hiking through the jungles of Mexico, and I'll be doggone if we didn't walk around a palm tree. And there was a guy sitting there with a bucket full of Modelo Especial, selling it for like $1. So we're like, oh, okay. Where else? We're out here in the middle of the jungle, and there's a guy selling beer. It's 5.4% alcohol, originally brewed in 1925. And once again, it is a German Munich-style dark lager, which, if you know me, I love German beers, and I love those darker beers, even though the heat index right now is like 100 and whatever. And I just had my 47th mosquito bite on my legs. All right, let's pop the top and see what we got. And of course, Modelo is, oh, look at that. Almost eruption of effervescence. Modelo is known as one of those beers that try to fancy up. They put a little lipstick on the pig by putting that annoying foil around the bottle, almost forcing you to pour it into a glass, because you don't want to be drinking this out of the bottle and you got little pieces of gold foil on your mouth. And so that's why let's go to the sold out Beer Snob's Cheap Brew review. Let's pop the top and see what we got on the 16-ounce pint glass. Only to be complemented by the Richardson trucker cap, leather patch trucker cap, also sold out right here. There you go, which is drenched in sweat at this point. There you go. Well, there is your dark lager, Munich style. Ooh, yeah, it's definitely getting very malty notes, as one would expect from a beer such as this. In color, it reminds me very much of a Beta Turbo Dog, which isn't a cheap brew at all, but is one of my favorites, even in this hot weather like this. So I'm getting some nuttiness. I want to say I'm getting some notes of wheat, but I think that's just because the landscapers and the maintenance crew are cutting the Wiesen next to me. A little bit of roastiness. I'm pulling out, if I have to pick a nut, I'm going to go maybe pecan. Also kind of reminds me of the Shinerbach. It's time for the liquid to hit the lips. I don't want to drink alone, so grab yourself a brew and let's go. Another mosquito nailed me. Wow, I was wrong. That is very light in body, full in flavor. I don't know why I didn't start drinking this with Mexican food before. Nothing off-putting, nothing cheap. And again, some of you are hammering me, oh, you're talking about Modelo, and Modelo is not a cheap brew. Well, we like to extend our beer menu a little bit, and let's be honest, there are only so many cheap beers in the world. So we have to add to the menu and get requests like, say, Modelo. $8.99 a six-pack, I think is what it went for. in just a minute. I'll give you 5 stars, or how many stars out of 5 stars I'm going to rate Modelo Negra. Like I said, I wore this shirt the last time I was in Mexico, and actually when I was in Mexico, I was a member of the Modelo Cerveza equipo. They're the Modelo beer team, or the beer drinking team. Oh wait, no, that was just the t-shirt that I bought on the ferry over to the island. For a brief afternoon, I drank like I was on the Modelo Mexican beer drinking team. Okay, so out of 5 stars, what would I give Modelo Negra? 5 being a very, very good Mexican brew. I gotta say, for the smoothness, for the flavor of it, and everything else going on, and as hot as it is here, and usually when it's this hot, when I'm sweating this much, I want something light and refreshing and crisp. However, Modelo Negra, it's refreshing. It's fairly light. It's not heavy at all. And those of you who get freaked out by dark beers, and once you see a dark beer, you go running down the street screaming, don't be intimidated by it at all. And it looks like a watered down Coca-Cola. So out of 5 stars, 5 being a very good Mexican cerveza, I'm going to go ahead and put you up there on the 4 shelf, scooch you up a little closer to the front, maybe a 4.77 out of 5 stars as the insects here in the beer garden swarm around my head, and another few mosquitos, Mexican mosquito, gnaws a couple of chunks out of my leg again. If you hadn't clicked subscribe by now, what you waiting for, man? All right, I love you. We all need you. Love your comments down below. Also, your suggestions of beers you'd like to see me review. And be sure to join our group on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And hey, it's a beautiful day here in the beer garden, in the presence of the Grand Fig. So grab yourself a beer and you drink that beer. Salute.